Good morning, everyone. So for my last video, I'm going to be talking to you about Plicker cards. So when you get on your web browser, we can just go to plickers.com. It's very easy to use. So once you get on here, if you haven't used it already, you can sign up, put your name, email, and password. I've already signed up, so I'm going to sign in. So once you sign in, it brings you to your main page here. So under your library basically is where you can make your questions for your quizzes that you create. It can show you your report, so your question history, and then your score sheet once students have answered the questions. Here's a pretty important part. If you go over to classes, you can create your own class. So if you just want to try it out, you can add a small demo class. So if you want to click on classes, you can enter students individually. Just hit enter, or you can click on add roster and you can write them on here, or you can copy and paste. Make sure you save it. So once you add a student in, it assigns them a card number. So as you can see, 1 and 2 are already gone because of my students over here. For older grades that have different blocks, you can actually go to classes and create a new class for each block, and they can reuse the same cards because it'll be assigned under someone different for each class. So then next to classes, there's something called Live View. And this is actually what you do when you're getting ready to use the cards and answer the questions. So you actually have to download the Plickers app. It comes in iTunes and the Android app. So if you have an iPhone or an Android, it works on either one. It also works on iPads. So I've downloaded it on my phone, so I'm just going to pull it up and show you what it looks like when you go into Live View. So when I pull up the app, I have to click on my demo class, and it should sync here and pop up. So when I have my demo class pulled up, I can click on my question that I have, and it'll put it into Live View. So you can actually hide the answer panel over here and put it into full screen, so you can pull it up on your board for students to use. So they read the question and they hold their card up for whatever is the correct answer. So that takes me into the cards. Cards is over here by your account and help. So this is what the cards look like. They come in sets of 40 or 63, depends on how big your class is. They also come in large font, large cards, and then large cards expanded. The reason they have different fonts is that so it makes it harder for students to be able to read the answers off of each other. So if you look on standard font, the font's pretty small. So if they're holding up a card, it makes it harder for another student to be able to see their answer. So like we did when we created our class, so each student in our class has a different card number. So we have 1 and 2 here. So if we look at our card set, this is card number 1. As you can see, it's got number 1 on all 4 corners. This is card number 2. So whatever number the students are, you match that card up with them. So now I'm going to show you how the cards actually work. Here's an example of one of the bigger cards. So say the answer was A. So this is student number 1's card. They would hold the card just in this direction right here. So A is facing the top. So when the app scans it, it's going to scan this shape as the answer A. So then if the answer were D, they would hold it this way, and it would recognize this shape as D. Same thing for C, it recognizes this shape as C, and same thing for B. So there's 4 different shapes on here that represent the 4 different answers. So when you're ready to do your quiz or your exit ticket or whatever, you just go back into Live View and have your app pulled up on the phone or the iPad. You would hit full screen, and then I can see it on my phone, but obviously you guys can't see it on here. So I would hide the panel so that the answers don't pop up. So on my iPhone or my iPad, it says scan. So what I would do, obviously you guys can't see this, I would scan it over the classroom and it would pick up all the shapes of the students' cards. And it gives me data from all the cards. It's instant answers. That's what's so awesome about it. and then I would hit the check mark for done. So I'm going to show you an example of how it actually works since you guys can't see me doing it. So you're just scanning around the room. That's what the app looks like. Picks up the shapes of the cards. It also picks up the students' names because it has their numbers on the cards. It's actually pretty awesome. And I don't know if you can see up here in the corner, but it's recording everyone's answers. Also tells you what answer is correct and who gets it correct. So it's basically like an immediate quiz that you don't have to grade. Okay, and now for a very important part, I'm going to show you how to make questions. So you go back to your library, and for those people with multiple blocks, you can add folders, so first block, second block, third block, whatever, and that can help with differentiation because you can have different questions for each block. So if I want to make a new question, I would just have to, obviously, new question, type your question. You can choose either multiple choice or true, false. Unfortunately, those are the only two answers. So then I would put my answers in here. Make sure you choose the correct one. And you can either save if you're finished or save and it brings you to create a new question. One thing you have to remember is that you have to add it to the queue. So basically that brings it from your library and adds it to the quiz. So you can add it to your demo class. Like I said, you can add it to whatever blocks you need. Helps with differentiation if you need different questions for different blocks. And that is pretty much it for Plickers. Like I said, it's extremely easy to use. It's not very in-depth. It's all pretty surface stuff. So I wanted just to give you a few pros and cons. So I'll start with the cons since there's less of those. The Plicker cards can't be laminated because it'll pick up the reflection of the lights on the cards and it might not work as well. Unless you have a matte lamination, then that would work. Also, if you're using this for a younger grade, the cards might be a little bit confusing with the turning of the answers. Those are the only two cons I can really think of for using Plickers. The pros, obviously, it's a free app. You can get it on Google Play or the App Store. You can also, it's free on your computer. You just have to sign up for it. It can be used with different blocks. You can assign card numbers to different students so you don't have to keep printing out a bunch of cards. You only need one device, so your phone or an iPad. This kind of helps with keeping everyone from having to use all the iPads or Google Chromebooks at one time. Students turn their cards to answer, so you can move on to a new question pretty quickly. You don't have to wait for them to write an answer or choose an answer, whatever. This is really good use for formative assessment, exit tickets, quizzes, or reviews. Like I said, it's really quick to use. The longest part is you have to make the quiz, and it gives you instant feedback and data. Data gets saved individually for each student, and the best part about it is there is no grading. So if you feel like you want to use this in your class and you still have some questions, you can definitely ask me. I can come and show you in person how to do it, but overall I think this is just a really awesome tool that we could be using in our rooms. Thank you guys.